Hey folks, fWhip here, and welcome to Hardcore Minecraft. Being over 5,500 days into this world, I've built a lot of stuff, but no build is ever truly done. So today I'm spending over 50 hours transforming my Nether hub. I've already set up a gas farm, magma cube, and froglight farms in a basalt delta, a hoglin farm for unlimited pork, and a gold farm on the Nether roof, with a massive hole going through the bedrock ceiling, leading to a full perimeter and wither skeleton farm below. Oh, and I guess I have a bee farm and the copper farm output over here. Man, that's a lot of stuff. So let's add even more today with a massive expansion to the Nether hub. Leave a like if you're excited and please subscribe. After digging out this entire canyon, a lot of my tools are nearly broken. So before we get anything started today, I need to fix them. With a quick stop in the end dimension, we can repair all of the tools here at the Enderman farm. And much better. Time to get to work. Last episode, I really enjoyed the process of just doing random things around the world. So we're gonna do a little bit of that today, starting with building a market right here. And it's going to be a storage room for all of my foliage blocks. For a little behind the scenes and a creative copy, I first started here with a list of everything I want to include in the storage room. Then I divided those items between the 5 chests here to represent different market stalls I'm gonna have to build. Where I've laid out space for the 5 stalls within the market building itself and got to work detailing, but you can't see that quite yet. We've got to build it here in the actual hardcore world first, and I'm gonna need a lot of materials. I want to display everything we're storing there, so I pretty much need one type of every single foliage block. Means a lot of shulker boxes. Here's all the different items I could collect out of my starter house, and a quick trip into the lumber mill. I can get everything I'm going to need for the different market stalls and storage spaces. With that done, next up, we need to gather a few more items. Quick trip into the flower forest to gather... There's none in here. Ah, there we go. Orange tulips. A trip into the swamp to grab some blue orchids. Back over at world spawn, I need to grab some red mushrooms, and I got none. Maybe down in the storage room? Yes. Lastly, a stop at the grocery store, as I forgot my pumpkins on the way home. The amount of one of this, one of that I had to do is a little crazy, so I need all of these boxes. I've already got the plan down here, so we can just start out by building our base shapes of all of the different market stalls and what those are going to be looking like. So for all of our leaves over here, we can have an upper level and a lower level with storage space on both of them, being the barrels built in, and then we can throw a few chests around just to have that extra storage, I'm probably always gonna have a lot of leaves. And I think everything's gonna either have a barrel or a chest dedicated to each type. And for some decorative stuff, we can just do some pots in there with a flower pot on top. We also do have saplings to think about, so we can build a little thing over here where we can store some and also potentially display a few of them too, because it could be kind of cool to have a few things out and moving, like flower pots right in there. This will finish off all of the sapling and leaf storage. A little more detailing magic, and this should be perfect. We have spruce leaves right here. We can put our azaleas in there. We can put the mangrove down here. Maybe the flowering azalea goes in there because I have so many of them. Here we can have our oak. Birch will be one of these, and then jungle and dark oak are these two. No, jungle up there, dark oak, maybe that. Birch be there, and then that's an acacia leaf, so that can be there, and then cherry can take that one. I also have all these extras over here that we can fill in as we need to, but I think that's a really cool end to the space. I've got a small well over here that we're gonna put a small drip leaf next to just to have it, and then in here we can create a small space for all of the too tall flower objects, as well as our hanging items like glowberries and spore blossoms. Speaking of which, that needs to go all the way up here so the particles fill the space. And the rest of this can just be filled with our barrels and some decorative stuff. Most of our too tall flowers are displayed inside of here. We've got the little detail bits hanging around. And then back around the corner here, I was able to squeeze in the pitcher pod as well as a sunflower that really just loves looking at the andesite wall there. A little unfortunate, but it worked. Over here though, we can move into some of the crops, where I want to create, like I did back in the grocery store, of having a few crops growing on display here. Right smack dab in the middle, I want to do this with some cocoa beans and a barrel on top. For some extra support, let's connect this down from the ceiling, and we can have another one coming down like right here too. A few planks along the back here to hide that space, and then we can hide all of the dirt with some of our trap doors. like this. Now let's get seeds, carrots, potatoes, and beetroot seeds. I'm thinking this set over here is just going to be wheat. And then on this side, we can go with carrots, potatoes, and beetroot. Now the grocery store has the autumn farm and it's nearby, so I don't need to bring them here, but maybe we'll store some seeds for our melons and pumpkins. Honestly, just looking for an excuse to add them here too. The foliage market is done. Over here, we have all of our small flowers, wither roses in the works, with some raised up above and hanging in their little pots. All of the farm goodies are now grown up with the help of some bone meal, and here in the back we have all of our mushrooms and nether goods with some netherwort growing in a little patch right there. And then I figured over here I could throw in all of our tall grass, dead bushes, and ferns right in this little guy. But there it is. Everything is finished off on the inside of the market. I just need to remove all of my items over now and organize this place. Oh boy, that took so long, but now everything I have is moved over here and organized like all these flowering azalea leaves with all of the sugar boxes. But everything's moved over. It's all in here. My 11 dark oak leaves have a full barrel for themselves. So the storage room is good to go. And I purposely didn't make room for shulker monsters inside of it, as we'll obviously just fill this square with all of them. With the last episode being episode 50 and a new world download going out, I thought it'd be fun to update my armor trim to something new. This one here is fun, but with the amethyst, I'm ready to change things up. I've got tons of diamonds in here that we can break down. I got 37. That might be enough. I think that's enough. Somewhere up here, yeah, there's Wayfinder. I want to duplicate this one, which we can do here with a terracotta like this. It's been a while since, right there, perfect. And I'm gonna be doing it. We are breaking into the silence. A wild. Lastly, tide, which I definitely didn't forget was inside here and have been spending the last 10 minutes wandering around trying to find it. Thankfully, we can keep the same boots on here. We can add our wild in, and then we're gonna be adding in the diamonds for our feet. The only piece that was not tied originally is now going to be moving to tied here for our pants. And because it looks pretty cool, we are going to be putting our silence on the chest piece with the Wayfinder to finish off the helm. And this is going to take some getting used to, but I think I like it. It goes so much better with the hoodie I have than the purple amethyst we got before. This is the first time I've seen it all in game, and it's a little weird. It's going to take some getting used to, but I think I like it. I think I like it. Yeah, like I got some cool sneakers on. Oh, they're so fun. I really want to continue making progress on the mountain range, so we're going to be putting in a few hours over here before we jump to the main project. Continuing on to the backside of the mountain, we're slowly enclosing the space. I've spent well over 50 hours on this project by now, so instead of killing my motivation by forcing myself to complete it all at once, I'm picking away at it a few hours here and there so it still stays fun, allowing my brain to take a break from creating the shape and not just think about the project for unended amounts of time. Leaving it for a while is really important for me to stay interested in what I'm doing and not really lead to the burnout phase. So this mountain definitely will not be built in a single day. We're already well beyond that, but that's fine. But I am very, very happy with how this has come together so far. We're almost done with the major defining shapes, so I can finally start to turn my brain off a little bit and move on to just focusing on filling in the empty spaces with our dirt. And if things are a little too steep, I'm just adding in a rock to help merge the different layers together, resulting in a very natural look as it all starts to come home. Underneath, however, is turning a little hellish with dark spaces and mobs spawning everywhere. Dealing with the hostile mobs, I used my last remaining torches to spawn proof underneath this new expansion. We're throwing some shaders on. This is looking really cool on the backside of the mountain. Leading into the final segment of this mountain today, where I was feeling a little over it at this point. This whole mountain thing was starting to get a little old, you know? So I decided to frame out the last ridge lines for a better idea of what I need to do to complete that space. And I'm really happy with how this is turning out over here, including the dirt line going up the center for the valley all the way up. But my brain's running pretty low on ideas here, so we're just gonna move on and come back a little later. On to the main project today. I want to transform the Nether hub. The first thing to go is I hate these crystals, and I need to get rid of them right now. Ah, so much better. I never liked these. I don't know why I built them. I do like the colors marking each direction, so I'll keep that in mind for the new version. And before we get into building a structure, we need to add some diagonal ice boat roads to reach my older portals. At home, I believe, yeah, I've got a little bit of ice left over. Ooh, and a decent amount of blue ice. We're definitely gonna need some more, so we need to go north. As I need to fill a shulker of packed ice and about half a shulker or so of blue ice to build these new roads. Thankfully, this is much quicker to break than the glass on those crystals, but I do need a ton here as 9 packed ice becomes 1 blue ice, so I need a lot of stacks of blocks. 1 pickaxe later, and this is how much blue ice I got. I still need a lot more. New silk touch pick is a go, and down goes the iceberg. To another dead pickaxe. 2 shulker boxes of packed ice, and over 19 stacks of blue ice. Thankfully, I got a few backup picks. Quick stop at the Wither Skeleton Farm, as I need a lot of bone meal. Might as well repair up the wings a little bit. And there we go. And that's as much as I could get out of here. Unfortunately, this thing is running a little dry. I need to spawn proof everything in the Nether hub. So on top of the iceboat roads we're going to be building, I need buttons. And we can use the Nether tree farm in here to help out with that. If I can figure out how to get to the... Oh, here they are. Load these with some bone meal and we can power up the farm. 15 minutes of TNT explosions later. And this should do it. One final stop before we can get working. I need a lot of prismarine. Over at the Guardian farm now, hopefully this thing is stocked up a little bit on something other than fish. It's all crystals and fish. All fish, all crystals. Ah, blocks. I'm just gonna get rid of all the fish. I definitely don't need this. And of course, a quick AFK session to get some prismarine, where this should do it for everything we're gonna be needing. I hope, because man, I just want to get building and playing the game again. Let's extend some prismarine slabs out here to create a small platform for ourselves, and bring in some packed ice below that, and keep a 2 diagonal space of blue ice going all the way down the path, where we end with something a little like this, and then I need to cover the entire top of it with our warped buttons. I extended the packed ice going all the way down, and we can add in a bit of an archway here using our end stone. Then on top of that, to spawn proof it all, we can just add in some of our prismarine walls going all the way back. That right there should do for one of our diagonal iceboat roadways, and of course we're going to be building some big stuff around it, but that goes straight to the Guardian farm. The end portal route is ready for an expansion to connect it up, and here are the final 2 coming together. To where exactly? I don't know. I've never actually built anything to the east of my base. I just kind of realized that earlier today. But they're ready. If we go out there, they're ready. Now I have an idea on how to fill the space of another ring going around everything. So a quick trip back to the overworld, as I need some flowering azalea leaves and a ton of moss. Leaves are spawn proof, and we can use mossy carpet between them as another method of spawn proofing, meaning we can create some large, really colorful flower beds to break things up from the nethery vibes. With the moss basin, I want to start bringing in rows of flowering azalea leaves with our moss carpet in between them, and work this all the way down. And we end with something a little like this for our bartering pigs to have the nice view of a garden behind them. I do this for you. This entire build is a big circle, so I built the garden all the way around. I'm really happy with the progress so far, and before I get carried away on the building, I want to extend our new iceboat roads out to their portals. We'll bring it out to here for now. To keep it safe from any gas, as I don't want them blowing up this ice because it's so expensive, I'm going to make sure I spawn proof each step as I go through it. All buttons must face the same direction, otherwise it's really going to hurt my brain. No, that scared me so much. Oh, okay, yep, right. That mob spawning, this is why I'm doing the buttons. The fact that I completely just jumped back in my chair when that skeleton shot me, was not expecting a jump scare today. There's all of the things in for the road itself. Now I just need the fWhip safety rails going all the way down. And I still have some walls left. First highway is now completed, almost all the way to the portal. It's close enough. The second one, however, is much longer to reach the Guardian farm, so it took a good while. All right, this might be a little hard to get down here, but it's a good thing. Nope, we're off the edge. It was going so well until then, but it's a good thing we're going to the Guardian farm right now, as I ran out of Prismarine to finish this thing. Well, hi portal. Oh, these are so fast if they work. I guess I gotta hang out here for a little bit longer. A little more work done and the entire ice boat road is done, except you can see here I keep hitting the sides. These walls are a little in the way. Do you have any ideas on what I can replace them with? I'm thinking lightning rods, iron bars, or maybe like end rods going the entire way. This is not really fast. It's kind of, yeah. After that, I need a bit of a break from the dark Minecraft Nether. And instead, I want to see the beautiful Minecraft blue sky. Oh, never mind. A beautiful morning. And it's time to plant a field. Going back to the newly terraformed land in front of the world tree, I want to add in a flower field with a coarse dirt base, some rooted earth pathways between, a little dash of subscribing to my channel, a few rows of alliums, and a hint of please leave a like on this episode to top it all off, finishing the 51st field in this hardcore Minecraft series. And here we have a new flower field as a pop of color under the world tree. This whole place coming together just makes me so happy to see everything I've built over the last 2 years in this world. Back to the project today, I need thousands of materials for the next step of building. Starting with a trip to the dirt storage to pick up a load of mud and packed mud materials, then a trip out to New Papyrus as I need to grab all of the sandstone I can find, along with even more sand to turn into glass, which will take a while to smelt. So coming home, I dropped off all of the sand in the super smelter to process. Trying to keep those chunks loaded so it'll keep on moving, I hung out around the base, grabbing up light blue wool from the sheep farm and going back into the dwarven cave to start silk touching a ton of amethyst crystals to use for detail as it counts as spawn proofing, which led to the second geode being cleared out as I need over 500 of these. The furnaces finished the glass, and next I need a lot of smooth sandstone, but unfortunately I don't have enough at home, so I ran out to the mining desert for a quick trip to start tearing up the ground even more. With that sorted, I removed all of the glass from the smelter and added in nearly 2,500 sandstone to smelt into smooth sandstone. And back to the geode I go, as I need a load of amethyst blocks as well, so I pulled out the fortune pick this time to gather up the shards to craft down into some blocks, which went on until the super smelter finished up all of the smooth sandstone, and we're off to the next task, which involved flying north to the swamp as I need so much light blue dye. This stupid sheep was eating the grass at my blue orchid farm, so I took him out and turned on the farm to gather tons of flowers. A few minutes later, and we have a full inventory, meaning I can come back home and turn all of my glass into light blue stained glass, then jump over to the dirt storage again and craft over 2,000 light blue concrete powder, where about 400 of it I need to turn into concrete, so I started stacking it all up to pour water over it from the top and gather up the freshly made concrete. Now for the mandatory session in the lumber mill before I can do any building, and this time it's a little absurd as we're spawn proofing everything, meaning I need thousands of slabs to do it, and to go with the build palette I also need thousands of stripped oak logs, and I'm currently asking myself why I decided to use these instead of planks, and I keep telling myself it'll be worth it somehow. But that didn't end the wood material list, as I went to the bamboo farm to craft a ton of sticks for cheap and make a ton of fences out of those. I cleared out all of my birch logs in storage, so I made a trip out to the nearby birch forest to strip down the trunks of all of the trees and gather up all of the stripped logs to use on the build as well. Finally, a much calmer stop here at the villager cave to trade with the stonemasons for some stripped stone blocks and some polished granite. After that grind, I needed a bit of a break, so I sat at the top of my froglight farm, as I needed a lot more pearlescent froglights. We have almost everything I need here in this crazy mass of shulkers, except one more block. Thankfully, after building the copper farm, this one's pretty easy. I've got a bunch of blocks of copper in here that we can turn into copper ingots, as I need to craft these into a bunch of lightning rods. 3 stacks should do it. And now the shulker mess is complete. This is a lot of boxes. Right into the build today, where I've added some frog lights along here. We can bring in some of our light blue glass on top, and then behind I want to bring in the rest of our light blue blocks that we have and start stacking them up to create create a bit of a gradient going all the way up here. That'll probably reach up to about that tall, and all the way in front of it, so we can fade it just a bit, we're gonna bring in the rest of the light blue glass. My goal is to create a sort of Colosseum look here, so we can start off with these light blue backdrops and bringing in some arches with oak and sandstone around the front to bring the look home. We've got our dark prismarine slabs up here to spawn-proof that, and then right behind that, I want to bring in our amethyst blocks. Like I did down in the original hub, I want to make sure I'm keeping those original ideas true in this new build, and the crystals up here can spawn-proof that. Then we can add our jungle slabs going 3 blocks back here to continue on with our spawn-proofing. Halfway done with the first part, and I really like how this looks. It definitely needs some more height for sure, but first, we need to complete the backside. To connect down into the bedrock, let's try and bring in a little bit of our mud here to curve around the backside. And then going back on top of our mud, we can bring in some prismarine brick slabs. The diagonal iceboat road now has a tunnel entering... Oh, I missed a sandstone. Now it has a tunnel entering into the hub, which I really love. So I'm thinking we can also create a really big archway here for the original cardinal direction iceboat roads, starting with a little bit of dripstone here at the base for some contrast. To go along with that, we can also incorporate a little bit of our mud brick and packed mud in here, using stairs, walls, and some slabs to create a big archway across. That is definitely feeling pretty grand. Let's bring in a little bit of our prismarine for the front. Going off the idea way back in New Papyrus where I used it as like a form of tapestry, I want to try that again here. Starting with something a little like this, and then if I can jump underneath, we can add a few end rods hanging down off of the walls. The front detail is now completed with a similar bit duplicated onto the back. So that we could have the entire top section walkable, I did add jungle stairs and slabs throughout here just to be able to get across. Now to bring the colored crystals back into this, like we had pointing out the different directions, I want to bring some of our white stained glass up in here on top to mark this direction if you couldn't tell this leads to the ghast farm. The general idea for the base of the build is now done, meaning it's time to complete the first quarter's first floor expansion to get a full idea of what we're going for here, which involves mirroring everything I just spent the last hour doing to recreate it all here, including the large archway leading down to the magma cube and froglight farms. Before I do the other 3 quarters, we probably need to spawn-proof this before a ghast comes along and blows it all up. I want to start by creating a bunch of archways out here, again, going off of the lower theme for this walkway up here that we'll be able to see through. We can bring our frog lights on top of these, and then in front of that, I want to extend out some of our acacia and some fences going every other block. Nope, I'm spawn-proofing. Go away. Thank you. A little sandstone trim on top with our dark prismarine slabs to spawn-proof that. Working along the same curve as the lower level, I continued this little arch design going to the far side. Both sides are now in, and this place is looking pretty good, except the middle here is a tad empty. We can fix this though with a little bit of bamboo wood connecting them in here. I don't think this is the final phase of the second floor, but I'm not quite sure what to do above it yet. So if you have any ideas, let me know down in the comments. But that does mean the first quarter of Nether Hub 2.0 is done. I've just really got a lot to do with this 3 more times around. Oh boy. The material list for this build is still well over 10,000 blocks. So to start eliminating a few of the things I need to keep in my inventory, I'm adding in the 2 remaining mud brick archways over the original iceboat roads. And the outer ring of mud and prismarine bricks are now in as well. Yeah, so simple. I just gotta fill in everything inside the circle. Easy peasy. Yeah, just fill it all in, just like that. I've already spent an entire day building this, so I logged off for a while to take a break, and upon coming back in, I decided to just get back into working to build up the section where I relocated my Nether portal to back home, since this was sticking out a lot in the open. And now we are officially halfway done. Actually, well over halfway done if you include the arches being added in. Gotta think on the positive side here. The vision is really starting to come together with this going all the way around here, and it is awesome. Except for the fact that it did take 12 hours just to build the first half. But really good news is my Nether portal home is no longer just sitting on the Nether roof. And I've been slowly emptying out some of our shulker boxes here to clean up the mess, as there's been a few ghasts that have spawned here. Nobody's blown anything up, but it has been a little spooky. Okay, one more time, let's run it back to the start, where I've gotten into a pretty good flow with this project by building out the light blue gradient sections and slapping the glass down in front of those to complete the effect. This is causing a lot of spawnable spaces to appear around the hub, so things are getting a little spooky right now, so I'm trying to get through this as quickly as possible. Moving into the next level of materials, as it's the bulk of all of the things remaining, with over 3,000 sandstone blocks going in, making this even spookier on the spawns. And finally comes the time to make this all a little bit safer by slabbing over the top of all of our sandstone blocks I had just placed in before we get too many hoglins spawning in for me to handle. The final layer of the nether cake is a go for all of the birch pillars topped with granite to go in place, where I can finish spawn proofing the entire nether hub expansion and add another ring of lights going around the top. This is so epic to walk around inside of. Everything for the main hub is now done for Nether Hub 2.0. I also found this shot here and I had to share it. The gas farm looks awesome. The Nether isn't the easiest dimension to build in, but I am happy I took on the challenge to build this. And I am really trying to embrace all of the mob farms and technical things here on the roof, as I can't really hide them, so I'm just letting them do their thing. At least from the top of the gas farm now, this is pretty cool to look at. Imagine if we get those blue ice roads going all the way out there and all the way out there into the fog. Oh, that'd be so cool. As much as I love these piglin bartering farms, we're gonna think of them as garden statues, just alive and trapped in a glass box for eternity. Yeah, that's some new functionality to this Nether hub. I want to build a real bartering station right out here. We can first clean up this mess of shulker boxes over here. The empties can go back in here, and the others can be added to the mess of shulkers right out here. Yeah, totally fine. Hi, Sky. It's been a while. I am going to need a few shulkers to fill with stuff again, as we're building Logical Geek Boy's bartering farm, which is a little big. Starting with over 11 stacks of chests, where we can take 5 stacks of these and craft them down into hoppers. Then a quick trip down into the villager. Ow, I still hit it into the villager trading hall. I was so close. Moving on, as I need to trade with the clerics for a lot of redstone dust. Everything else I had on hand pretty much, so we have everything here inside these 2 boxes. Means I gotta go back into the nether again. Woo, to the nether. Oh man, we're gonna place this in, I'm thinking somewhere out here, and just hope it lines up with future builds later on. Stacking fuel blocks off the ground, I'm able to build around this much more easily in the future. Then the first step of this is to place down all of the chests that I have stacking up, just to see how crazy large this farm will be. Now I just have to add in hoppers behind every single one of these chests. There are more than 20 different drops for this thing, so we need a lot of item sorters. Like this little system here for the potions and unstackables coming in. For everything that fills up down here, those items will just burn in the fire. And as water and nether don't really mix, I can use blue ice here to help slide the items all the way down, which are gonna need some buttons on top so that no mobs spawn up here. As we do with all big walls of chests, we need a big redstone sorting system set up behind the hoppers to make sure everything goes into its proper position. Now I just need to add in all of the filters and the items going in here for the item frames. Thankfully, I can get all of the items over here at the old bartering farms. Yes, they're still full. With the primary items in place, I went through and added filters in with kelp as the farm won't produce any of it. All the super technical bits are done, so I spent through finishing up the gold dropping chamber. Everything is finished! Minus the part where I need 24 piglins in this box. Back to the villager trading hall to buy 24 name tags from the librarians. A ton of netherrack here from the quarry, and as much gold as I can... I have 23. Oh no, I guess I'm gonna be the bait. We don't have gold to lure them. We need the pigs to fall down in here. That shouldn't kill them. So if we do this with a trapdoor, then use some glass to create a bit of a chamber for them to try and walk through. And I can have a safe place to run through on this side. The piggies should fall in. Just to be safe though, I'm gonna put an extra trapdoor right there so they can't follow me. Yeah, that's a good call. And before I forget, we have to rename all of these to Piggybot. Now I just need a space for the piglins to spawn in. Now I just need to fly away and hope that we get some piglins holding swords to spawn in. This is definitely gonna go really well. It's so well. I'm not concerned in the slightest. Oh, here we have the first piglins. I forgot about the children. We don't want the children. Oh, not the crossbow, guys. I don't think... Oh, this was a mistake. Okay, you have the crossbow. Nope, no, don't hit your friends. Okay, crossbows are gone. Piggy, help me out. Hoglin, help me out. Oh, no, not me. Him. Yes, thank you. Haha. Okay, perfect. Now let's get you and you and... Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Okay, I need new name tags. Oh, I thought that was gonna open there. Okay, right. Need 2 more name tags. It's only up from here. No, that's all hoglins. Oh, there's piglins. There's 1 and in. We officially have a pig in. Yes. And 2. Oh, easy. 22 to go. Easy. Number 3, 4, and 5. There goes number 10. We're almost halfway. Another pig. Look at all the piggies down there. We almost have a full circle of swords coming in. Number 20, 21, and 22. Now I just need more name tags. Last 2 name tags acquired, and I just need 2 more piglins with swords to spawn in here. Yes, we got them. Okay, let's take out everything else, but no the pigs. Hi, one of you want to come over here, please? Okay, they're separated now. You can have your name. Oh, you can have your name and go down with your friends. No, don't kill him. Don't kill him, please. Ah, don't kill me. Go down there. He fell to his death. I need another name tag. Stupid hoglins. I should have waited. Stupid little piggies. Take 3 for the final piglin. Oh, maybe. No, he's got a crossbow. Dang it. Okay, here we go. Let's take out the hoglins and the crossbow piglins. Here we go. The 24th piglin. Finally in. Yes! Now, before I fall in there and kill myself, we're gonna hold that. We're gonna patch that up. And that is now everything cleaned up. There was a little gold left here at the output of the gold farm, but the new bartering farm will go through that in seconds, so we need a lot more. Guess I just hang out up here for a little while now that it's back up and running. Ooh, look at the hub. We can see it from here now. I can't wait for auto crafters. This took like 10 minutes to craft down from nuggets. I do love that gold farm because it's really efficient, but man, having to craft everything down at the end is a big bummer. No, I missed. I don't want to be here. Especially when each stack of blocks here is 27 stacks of nuggets, where we can just fill up this entire double chest in here with all of our nuggets, and it's actually going to take a lot more. Right, there's almost all of the gold minus these last nuggets, and that's enough. Hey, calm down in there. That's enough to be able to turn on. Let's see if this thing actually works. There's all the items, and it's all going. This is going to be so much easier to use for bartering. Just look at all the piggies with their booties on. I am starting to understand the hype behind having all of these massive farms because, oh my gosh, having all of the bartering goodies in one position all along this chest wall, man, it is so much nicer than having chest, and having to go through all of them and sort it to see what's even inside. This is a huge upgrade. Now we can take this new ice boat road to our next project right here. The Hoglin farm. So far, So far from the Nether hub. I just have to fix these real quick before we move on. They were my quick routes to get between all the bartering farms, but we don't need them anymore. And I keep hitting them on my boat. Now for the Hoglin farm, mostly just for the flex of it. This thing is plenty good already, but I love the look of the gas farm over there. So I want to start adding a few extra layers onto this. I've got to do it for the pork economy, okay? Each layer of this farm requires 400 netherrack, about 200 purple stained glass for a border on each layer. Thankfully, the villagers can supply this small amount of glass pretty quickly. I also need well over 100 torches per layer, some crimson nylia, mangrove trapdoors, and warped fungus. Lastly, iron bars. Hoglins are only 2 blocks tall, so I can start putting that next layer of netherrack right up here. Now from here, I just need to duplicate everything else that we did on the bottom layer, including this middle section. And I think that also includes the block with a torch in the middle. I'm just gonna assume that's a yes. You throw in the spooky fungus to get rid of the hogs to make them run towards the middle, and the purple glass going around. Now we just spam torches quite literally everywhere. Okay, not quite everywhere, just every few blocks. There we go. This right here is the entire second layer. With that done, I just need to duplicate this 2 more times for a total of 4 layers of hog spawning action. That really wasn't too bad to build, so we can fly up to the top and see the absolute mass of hogs falling into the fiery pit. The Hoglin farm isn't towering over the hub like our gas farm is, but man, it is really funny to watch when it's up and running. I also did go through and added a boat off of every single direction so that they're easier to use. Instead before, I was moving one boat around between all of them and was just like, I'm not bothering with it this time, so maybe I'll actually use it now. 50 hours later, and here it is. Nether Hub 2.0 is complete. I'm so happy I took the time to not only beautify this build and give it a larger presence, but I also added a ton of new functionality to the Nether Hub, which means I can be a lot more efficient for future episodes. The only remaining question here is, what the heck do I do in the actual Nether? Let me know your ideas down in the comments below, and please be sure to leave a like on this episode if you did enjoy, as it was a huge build to put together. But I'll catch y'all on that's the ceiling, on the flip side. Yeah. Ow, that kind of hurt.